Okay, so this is Mike Merlin Means of Merlin Public Media. And tonight we're having another installation of our homegrown show called Events Talk. And with us tonight is.
Larry Topping.
And what are we talking about tonight, Larry Topping?
We're talking about Mayhem's Bullhead River Run. And that's happening last weekend of April 26th through the 29th. Starts on a Wednesday, ends on a Saturday.
So tell me about it. How long has this been happening?
This will be the third year that we've done the Bullhead River Run on this side of the river. And I personally have been connected to the motorcycle rally that's been happening here for the last 40 years. I haven't been connected to it for 40 years, of course, because I'm only 44. But but for the last 15 years, I've been coordinating the tattoo convention that's been happening in conjunction with the River Run. Okay. And as the River Run came to a halt, there was a big call for it to still continue. So I stepped up to continue it and to keep it going and to bring it back to potentially something that's bigger, maybe modified, changed to something that is different, but more potential for expansion. Because that's kind of what I have in mind, is more potential for expansion here in Bullhead.
Well, the whole thing, the bike run, I sold jewelry in it years ago. We watched it collapse from the outside. We watched people basically stop showing up. And then it died. And then you stepped up and just took it and ran with it. And I, for one, want to say thank you, because I can't imagine the workload you're carrying. And I also want to take a second right now and say thank you for taking some time for, talking with us and sharing some information. So
very welcome.
Tell me about this year's event.
Okay. So we have our headlining acts are already booked, and that's going to be Count 77 is playing at the Anderson Fieldhouse on April 28th. And they're going to have an opening act. And also we have Slaughter playing on Saturday, April 29th. And they will have an opening act as well. We're going to have live music outside of the Anderson Fieldhouse underneath the big top. That's going to be a huge tent so that we can have some shade this year. Because I think
yes,
that was really the only complaint from that location that I got was they needed some shade outside.
It gets a bit warm here.
If you don't live here and you're not used to it, it can buckle you.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I've been here, I don't know, 25, 26 years or so, and it took me a couple of years to wrap my head around seeing 122 on the back porch thermometer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we got Slaughter. I know. The other band again was
Count 77. That's actually Danny Coker's band from Counting Cars and Counts Customs. So that's his band, and he does classic hits from 1977.
The year I graduated high school. Well, okay.
Yep.
Okay, so go ahead.
A good group of guys. And we really hit it off last year. And then Horny Mike comes down with them too. And I had a few shots of Jack Daniels with that guy. He's a lot of fun to be around.
Okay, so we got two major acts, a couple of opening acts. What else is going on? I'm going to come and drive 150, 200 miles out here for this. What else can I expect to be seeing?
Well, we have the tattoo convention, the Ink Mayhem Tattoo Convention. So we'll have, 100+ tattoo artists inside the Anderson Fieldhouse. That's going to happen on the same floor as the concerts are happening. And so they are welcome to tattoo and to continue to tattoo during the concert. So the tattoo convention will be open during the concert. Both will end at the same time. outside of the Anderson Field House, we have live music underneath the big top. We'll have a wet bar out there. Well, I'm sorry, a beer garden for the Anderson Field House.
Okay.
Because it's school property, we can't.
Oh, right, exactly.
Serve liquor on it. But we can serve all the beer and malt liquor we want. So that's what we'll be doing out there. There's going to be a vendor set up at each location. And the Bullhead City Community Park will have a DJ there and a nice sound system to where everybody gets to hear the music. We'll have a beer garden there, and it's looking like we may be doing hard alcohol at that location.
Okay.
Also going to be RV parking at the Bullhead City Community Park that you can book through us, as well as tent camping, and it's very affordable. And at that location, we are also going to be doing burnouts at that spot, a burnout competition at that spot. We have Gary Keith Park as well, and that's right there across from Walgreens, right across the 95 from Walgreens.
Same place that Cornfest was.
Cornfest, yeah, exactly. And so we're going to have a vendor set up there. We're also going to have a huge tent set up there as well for some shade. And we have a beer garden there as well. And it looks like we may be doing some hard alcohol at that location as well. We have Miss Mayhem competition as a beauty competition. We'll call it a beauty competition.
Okay.
That's going to be at that location as well as the biker games have daily there, like the hot dog eating contest, the slow drags, and a couple of others. And the Ladies of Mayhem are the bartenders for each location. So our ladies will be a lot of them, most of them last year are going to be returning. We got a couple of new ones because we brought on a new location. But they're going to be the familiar faces that everybody gets to know every time that they come out here. And then we also have the Men of Fire Veterans Poker Run that happens every year that we support. And you can get involved with that poker run on our website. And that supports local homeless veterans. And
nice.
All that money goes to the River Fund in a special account that is used specifically for what it's designated for between the River Fund and the Men of Fire nonprofit. On that same page, you'll also be able to sign up for our Mayhem Charity Poker Run, which benefits the American Legion, the Moose Lodge, the Elks Lodge, and you can sign on to that on that same page as well. The Mayhem Charity Poker Run includes a shirt and breakfast. The Men of Fire Veterans Poker Run includes a shirt and dinner. Nice. And both of them end at the Anderson Field House. And then the announcements and the awards will happen on the main stage out in front of Anderson Field House for both days. And then shortly thereafter, it'll be time to start opening up for the concerts that happen on Friday and Saturday.
The concert billing sounds magnificent. That in itself is a bit of an epic project. Just getting everything in, getting the stage, getting the crew, getting sound, getting lights.
Yeah, timing, man.
Who is handling the sound and lighting for this event? Because as you may remember, I'm an old lighting guy.
Yeah, Southwest Hospitality is handling the stage. They're the people that I get the tents from for outside each location, and they handle the stage, the lights, and the sound for the concert. And they have their own sound tech guy that comes in and helps with us as also.
So shout out to Southwest Hospitality, lighting, staging, and everything that goes along with it.
That's right.
Plus techs.
That's really great and personable guy too. I definitely recommend giving them a call for any of your event needs.
That is great. That is, I love meeting. I have a hard time getting out of the house for any extended period of time right now, but I'd like to come down. I mean, I want to see Slaughter, but I'd like to meet those guys too because talk shop and all of that fun stuff.
Well, you make sure you make it down there, and I'll make sure that you guys get linked up.
That's cool. That'd be really cool. Okay, so vendors. I'm assuming you got vendors everywhere.
Yeah, we're expecting to have about 50 vendors at each location, which is a step up, and that's the direction that it's heading. It's a step up from last year. We only had 2 locations for vendors last year, and all of the vendors that were there last year are returning, with the exception of maybe a couple. But there's already been vendors that have jumped on board that weren't there last year. We are trying to twist the arm of the major big vendors, the big truck vendors, and it's been a little bit of a difficult time twisting their arm to come from the East Coast for ours because of the proximity to AZ Bike Week. That means that they come out for AZ Bike Week, go back east, and then have to come back here a month later. They even said if I was a week later that they would have no problem doing it, but I can't move the event from the last weekend of April. That's
forever.
Forever.
Yeah,
right.
That's just been forever. I remember I did jewelry, silversmithing, and the like, and I made more sales during the 5 days of the bike run than I did during a month-long show at Clouds and any other. And it was a pleasure to be a vendor. It was just amazing. The people, the politeness, just the overall camaraderie amongst everybody out there. What type of vendors do we have?
Well, we have some motorcycle part vendors, and we have food. We have a lot of food vendors, and then there's we have clothing vendors and some different specialty vendors. But I'll be listing all of that stuff here on the website here in the next week or two, so that you can click on there and preview what these people have to offer before they even get here.
What is the website?
It's mayheminfo.com.
Okay, and is there a separate website for the tattoo convention?
Nope, it's all on the same website.
All on one.
Yeah, everything that I have going on. So, Ink Mayhem does have its own URL, inkmayhem13.com, but it is a page on the main website.
Gotcha. Okay. So we've got music and food and vendors and tattoo artists and
we have a lot of local businesses as well that are really excited to have the population increase.
Oh yes.
For the week. They're all looking forward to it.
It's I don't remember, it's been a long time, but I used to hear that a considerable percentage of the local annual business sales came through in 1 week.
That's it. You nailed it right on the head right there. And there are people that don't understand that, but so I'm a tattoo artist by trade, and I tattooed here for years and years and years and years. I've ran this tattoo. I'm the oldest tattoo shop in town now. I've had 15 years, but I've been tattooing in town for 20. And every year, we would all get excited because River Run was coming, and in that 1 week, it would make your year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not just for tattoo guys. That was for every business here along the 95. Everybody in town. There was a point where Laughlin River Run was so populated that it couldn't help but spill over into Bullhead.
Yes.
And that's what we want. That's what we want again. We want all of those people to come here, and the city is behind it. Toby Cotter is the city manager, and I've been meeting steadily about this. The mayor, Steve D'Amico, is all about it. They've been very helpful, very supportive. Bullhead City Police Department as well. I've been meeting with them, and they're very supportive of the event. And everybody seems to be wanting to work cohesively to get this job accomplished.
I recall horror stories of, how shall I say this without hurting anybody's feelings? Excessive police presence back in the day.
Yeah. Well, not just back in the day. We're talking 2019. 2019, that was, there was a lot of cops in Laughlin, more so than what was needed for the population, I think.
I agree.
And they they herded people around a little bit, which, they did what they did over there for the reasons that they did it.
Mhm.
And, maybe I don't know some of those reasons, and maybe I don't need to know, but over here, they're supportive of a safe event. So
Yes.
if everybody's acting accordingly, then nobody should have a problem or an issue.
Right. Exactly. Play nice with the other kids, so to speak, and everybody will have a good old time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I worked the show for a number of years as a jeweler. Before that, I cooked in the old boiler room in the Bell.
Oh yeah, I love doing the tattoo convention at the Bell.
And I was the broiler guy. And that's it. From the minute I walked in the door to the minute I walked out, it was steak, 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 steak. And these boys are meat eaters.
Yep.
And that's about the only week of the year as a cook. Granted, I was a display cook that I made tips, and I looked forward to it
because they appreciated you back there.
Yeah, and if you can handle that week in any kitchen station on the river, you can handle anything that anybody's ever going to throw at you.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I had this dude. I don't know. He walked up behind me. I'm cooking. He slapped $100 bill on the table behind me and said, "How fast can I get a medium rare T-bone?" And I handed it to him.
That's the answer, right?
That's it. Right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've always enjoyed, in the kitchen selling. Been out of all of that for a while, but it's the biggest thing that happens in Bullhead.
Yeah, it has been for many, many years, and it brings money from out of town into town.
Yeah,
and we're a tourism community.
Absolutely.
We're not producing anything here, and we're not printing money. So,
yeah, it all comes down to tourism, and I think a lot of locals, especially, how shall I say this, older locals, just kind of think this whole thing is a big pain in the butt. And
yeah,
you know what I say? Go down, hang out, meet some people, have a beer,
right?
Check it out, chill.
Yeah, listen to some Slaughter.
There you go.
In Sturgis, it's really interesting because I'm going to go every year until I can't ride up there no more.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 2 years I've gone around and I've talked to everybody I could possibly talk to, and shaking everyone's hands and had a conversation and learned everything that I could to know what makes Sturgis tick. And it's just really an awesome place. But I kind of have a vision for this to be a Sturgis. And one of the points that I was making to that, you were talking about the people that don't necessarily appreciate this, is there's people in Sturgis that don't necessarily appreciate the motorcycle rally, but they will leave for 2 weeks and they'll Airbnb their house out and make thousands of bucks off of it.
Oh, wow.
Come home to a clean house, and someone else is responsible for everything. So someone else comes in, rents the Airbnb, and then sublets the rooms out, sublets the front yard out for tent camping, and sublets the spaces out in front of the house for parking.
Wow, I did not know that was going down.
Yeah, so they leave for the 2 weeks of the event, and then they come back and back to normal because I'm telling you that place is nuts. One thing that stood out in my mind was I went to the McDonald's, and I'm not I don't normally go to McDonald's, but I went in there. It was handy, it was convenient, and I just was ready to get on the road. But there was two 10-year-old boys, twins, behind the counter, taking orders and taking people's money, and they counted back my change to me and everything. I know grown adults that can't do that.
Oh yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I was really impressed. I tipped them actually, and the whole town that sticks around, the whole town, everybody that sticks around gets involved in this. Everybody has something to do and a part in it, and it is profiting somehow. Everyone.
Hmm. And
I think that could happen here.
I would love to see that happen here. Of course, you might have to take it longer than 5 days to get, but I'm sure someplace back in your mind that's in your plans.
Yeah. Let's not go too far there. Not trying to let the cat out of the bag, but definitely. So look at what happened with Cave Creek Bike Week. AZ Bike Week was happening, and then Cave Creek started a week before then, and then they expanded into the full 2 weeks. And now AZ Bike Week happens at the same time as Cave Creek, but Cave Creek Bike Week is 2 weeks. There is going to be a time where it happens. It needs to happen in 2 weeks, and here's why. And here's why it happens in Sturgis. Is because when you have 780,000 motorcyclists rolling through town, you don't want them coming in 1 week.
Oh, you know what? I never thought about that, but yes.
You want them spread out between 2 weeks.
Right. Elsewise, your roads will be just bottlenecked everywhere.
Yeah, it'd be too much. So, and that's good. So when the population gets too much for what we're doing here and the expansion of the event, then we'll start stepping up the days of the event.
I'm looking forward to seeing this go as far as it can. I'd like to see us on the level of, say, like Sturgis or Daytona or one of the super shows.
Me too. I would definitely like to see that. This was one of bikers' favorite shows at one point.
Yes.
So I'm doing the best I can, and that's all me and my team can do is the best we can do, and we're paying attention to detail, and we have our sights and plans on the future. We really just need everybody's support. We definitely at this point are looking for sponsors, and we are accepting vendors. We have some space for vendors, but it takes everybody to make this work.
So what can we do for you?
Local businesses can get onto the website mayheminfo.com and look at the sponsorship information and see if there's a bracket on there that suits their needs as far as what they're going to benefit out of it and what they're willing to invest in the show. We definitely have some great things to offer potential sponsors. And if everybody goes on there and looks at the sponsorship opportunities, it's all listed on there. And tonight I'm actually going to be putting it on in a PDF format as well, so you can click it on and print it out.
Okay. So we need sponsors, we need vendors, we need to spread word of mouth.
Yep. If anybody knows any of those big vendors out there, so I've been bugging JMP Cycles, JM Sound, Vance and Hines. I've been bugging everybody and telling them they need to get out here. So the more people we have calling them and bugging them and telling them, hey, you need to get out here because I want to do business with you, the more likely that they are to want to show up.
Well, and the bigger names we get in here for this in the way of sponsors, the more you can do for not only the bikers coming in, but everyone else involved in town. I mean, it's
Yes.
everybody shakes everybody else's hand.
Well, it's about growing the rally. It's about making the rally bigger and better every single year. So taking whatever money is produced from this year and throwing it into 2024,
Mhm.
and then 2024 into 2025, and 2025. So until we have Rob Zombie and Bush and whatever, there's
Yeah.
many that are playing. Buck Cherry. I've been looking at Buck Cherry. I thought about trying to get them this year, but they were a little bit out of my price range.
That'll change.
Yep, I'm
That'll
hoping.
change.
I'm hoping.
Okay, so wrap it up in a couple of sentences for me, then I got a couple more questions. Just
Okay.
give me the whole ball of wax, as they say.
Well, the whole ball of wax. Well, I think we just already landed the whole ball of wax. We got 3 locations. Got a tattoo convention. We got 2 concerts going down with Count 77 and Slaughter. We have vendors and live music outdoors at the Anderson Fieldhouse, and we have vendors and music and beer garden at all 3 locations. The 3 locations are Anderson Fieldhouse, Bullhead City Community Park, and Gary Keith Community Park. We're also pushing RV camping and tent camping at Bullhead City Community Park, which is available on the website. And what else can I think of? You got me on the spot. I'm trying to think of it.
Well, that's my job.
I do want to say thank you to everybody that's been so supportive here in the tri-state area and beyond the tri-state area. There's a lot of people all over the country that are rooting for us and rooting for the event and giving me contacts, and it's just been great. The committee here and the volunteers here have been just really spectacular. And I'm really happy also to have Sean Hammond aboard my crew. He's been very informative, and I'm looking forward to seeing what his experience will do for this event in the future.
Sean's a hell of a guy.
Yeah, he is.
Sean's a hell of a guy. I've done a couple of projects, where he was involved, and it's just like, if he's going to take the time to tell you something, pay attention.
Yeah, that's been the way I've been when he's telling me something. I just kind of just be quiet and listen.
Yeah, good man. So the dates again are?
April 26th through the 29th.
And times?
The vendor village is going to be open from 10 to 8, I believe. I think we're 10 to 6, but I think we're going to stay open till 8, depending on the flow of traffic and depending on what you want to do. But the doors open at the concerts at 7 to begin at 8.
And the tattoo convention opens?
Same time as the vendors, the vendor village, 10 to 8. Well, actually, the tattoo show will be from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. because that's when the concert ends. So the artists can sit there and tattoo all night if they want.
That would kind of impress me to see an artist working such detail work with such a large amount of noise in the background. That takes double your focus.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did put this out to all my artists, and I let them know that this is what's going on. And I got hit with an onslaught of artists wanting to buy booths immediately.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That kind of shocks me.
Right, me too. So I kind of put it out there as a warning, not as a as a perk, But it is a perk. The thing of it is that these artists are looking at this as like there's going to be a lot of people there.
Yes.
And the shows are only they're only 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's only 2 hours out of the day that they got to deal with not being able to hear what their client is thinking.
Excuse me. The lungs aren't what they used to be.
That's okay.
Um,
I mean, that's not okay for you, but that's okay for me.
well, it's I've had a little news from the doctors. It's not as bad as we thought it was, which is the greatest blessing that's ever been dumped on me. But I'm still not in great health. But well, long story
But
short, I'm not terminal.
that's great news.
I know.
I feel bad for kind of cracking joke at the cough, but man, I'm glad that you're doing you have that to know.
Well, I was misdiagnosed for 3.5 years.
Oh,
So a great load has been lifted off of me, my wife, my closest friends, and we're going on, and we're kind of hoping maybe in a year or so I can get out and about and start doing stuff again. So
I hope so, man.
it would be so cool because I miss a lot of the things I used to do. I'm gonna try and get down to the run for a couple of 3 hours one of those days and just hang out, check out people and some vendors and some food, and maybe trying to get to one of the shows. If I get to a show, it's definitely going to be Slaughter, though.
Okay.
That's a name I know and remember from back in the day, so to speak.
Yep.
So
They're 80s band.
yeah, you took on a massive project.
Yeah.
You pulled it off twice. You're going up on number 3.
Yep.
How do you feel about the future, personally? I mean, be honest with me.
I'm optimistic.
Okay. It's always going to be 1 year at a time.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of have a far off goal, like I said, what my vision was is of expansion, but definitely I got to do this 1 year at a time, because it kind of has to do this organically. It can't be forced.
Right.
Can't go big too quick, and you definitely don't want to digress either.
No, ever, not ever.
Right. So that's what I feel for the future is that I'll have a steady growth here in the community, in the tri-state area, actually. So like with Sturgis, a lot of the most iconic and great photographs of Sturgis that you see in magazines and on the internet aren't even in Sturgis. Most of those photographs are in like Hill City and towns that surround Sturgis for a day's ride, because that thing has gotten so big that it is in every town and city within a day's ride surrounding it. And there's even properties that just sprout up with vendor villages and bars out there and on the routes.
Wow. There's something made by everybody.
Yep, I imagine that's going to happen here too.
I suspect it will.
Welcome.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you for your time. I'm going to give you an opportunity here, and what you do with it is entirely up to you. But I would like to talk to you 1 or 2 times more, maybe before this all hits the fan.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah,
and
I would enjoy that.
We can update people and let them know what's going on and how we're progressing, and just keep this thing going here.
Yep, I agree.
Alrighty, Larry, man, I'm going to get myself out of this chair and go find my oxygen and chill out for a little bit. I thank you so much. I honor and respect the job you are doing for our community.
Well, thank you for doing this for us, and thank you for doing this for me. The event really appreciates you giving us this opportunity to put our information out there on the air.
Alrighty, man, you have a good night.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Okay, good night.
Bye-bye.